Dear students, in the last video we know about what is law of demand and its assumptions and how it works. Uh, the law of demand is a relationship between price and demand. So we know all about that things, but there is some exceptions or limitations to this theory. There is some exceptions and limitations for this theory, which are follows here in this video. In that, first one is Giffen goods or Giffen paradox. So let us know about what is Giffen paradox. It is an important exception to the law of demand is the case of Giffen goods. A given good is defined as an inferior good. It is defined as inferior good. In earlier Ireland, it was observed that the poor population consumed two goods. One is meat, which is costly, and bread, which is cheaper. A very strange phenomenon was observed when the price of bread was increased. It made a large drain on the resources of the poor people, and they were forced to curtail the consumption of meat and buy more of bread, which was the cheapest food. This implied that quantity demanded of bread, which is an inferior good, demanded of bread increased with increase in its price. So Sir Robert Giffen, an economist, was the first to give an explanation to this situation. Hence, such goods are called Giffen goods or inferior goods. It must be noted that such cases would occur only when a considerable part of the income is spent on an inferior goods only. The next exception is emergency, like war situation or economic emergency like that. The law of demand does not apply in the period of emergencies like war and emergencies, etc. During such period, availability of goods becomes uncertain and prices are increasing. Therefore, the consumers like to store the goods of their daily use even if their prices increases. So that's why it is the law of demand has certain exceptions or limitation in that time, means in emergency. The next one is conspicuous necessities like car, fancy clothes, etc. It is known as Veblen goods or Veblen uh, exception to law of demand. He says that demand does not apply to the commodities which are used as a status symbols or snob value or enhancing social prestige or for displaying wealth and riches. The consumer measures the satisfaction derived from these commodities not by their uh, utility value but by social status. This is an example of conspicuous consumption where the demand is for social status and not for the inherent utility of the commodity. In such cases, price and quantity move in the same direction. Quantity move in the same direction. Diamond or antique works of art are examples of such goods. Higher is the price of such goods, higher is the snob value attached to it, and hence larger is its demand. So that's why it is assumption for law of demand in such cases. The next one is depression, means price and quantity demand is very low. In such period, the law of demand will not work because the price and quantity demand is very low in that time. The next assumption is ignorance effect, means high priced commodity is better in quality. Sometimes we will ignore the low quality or priced commodities. The low price commodities has very low quality. That's why we will ignore that such kind of products. So that's why in that for that products this law will not apply. The last one is speculation, means future changes in price. In the speculative market, a rise in the price is frequently followed by larger purchases, and all fall in the prices by smaller prices. For instance, when share prices rise, people expect further rise and rush to buy. When share prices fall, they wait for further fall and stop buying. In this situation means in the speculative market, the speculative situation, this theory will not apply. So in this video, dear students, we know about exemptions or limitations of law of demand.